when you switch to being digital, you think that you're doing it for the client because you automatically think that this will help the client, right? However, the technology for the sake of technology is not good at all, right? And to have a technology that would actually respond to the needs of the client, it's not a rocket science. It's just talking to people, but also another thing, being humble enough to hear what they're saying.
Hello, and welcome to a whole new episode of Engati CX. I'm your host, Kimberly, and we're really glad to have all of you join us today. On this show, we talk to CX and technology experts from around the globe. We explore, uncover, and share fresh insights on creating experiences that your customers will remember and look forward to. Engati is the world's leading multilingual, no-code digital CX platform available across 14 channels with 45,000 solutions created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by Inc. magazine, Tech World, CIO magazine, and many others. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest. Anastasia Vladychynska is the woman who started a customer service revolution in a country where the word serve doesn't exist. She is a US certified customer experience consultant. She is an inspirational speaker on customer experience at national and international conference and corporate events. She holds expertise in transforming the mindset of top managers and owners to help companies become true servants to their clients, employees, and partners. She is also a professional speaker at the National Association of Speakers at the New York City. Welcome to the show, Anastasia. We are so glad to have you talk to us today.
Hey, Kimberly, thank you so much for inviting me.
Before we dive into our interview with Anastasia, don't forget to subscribe to Engati and tap the bell icon to get access to exclusive content coming from thought leaders from around the globe. Well, Anastasia, let's get started. Our first question to you is, what role does digital technology play in enhancing the customer experience? To what degree do we attempt to substitute the human consumer experience for a digital one?
I love this question. Seriously, it's because it gives so much to talk about, right? And there are so many school of thoughts, and some say, digital everything. Some say humanize everything after everything is digitalized. So, yeah, I can only speak from my own experience because we work with huge companies, banks, retail companies, which means that I'm not trying to say that this is the only right thought. It's just from my own experience, and then everybody else, I think you have to judge from your experience. So from our experience, what I see right now is that yes, digital is so much needed, and everybody is frustrated. A friend of mine wanted to buy a ticket to the cinema, and she wasn't able to because they don't sell tickets online. So she just had to go and to buy manually, which is such a dinosaur, right? Right now. So this is weird. Yes, you need digitalization, but what I've also experienced right now during this pandemic times is that we rely too much on the digitalization, and also, especially when you call contact centers right now, I think the role of contact center is so much switching, because why do those people at the contact center, real people, humans, reply to you as AIs? That is very interesting to me. And as a business owner, I know it's very expensive to have people, right? To hire real people and to have them treat our clients as if they were robots. So I would say leave everything basic to be digitalized. Yes, you have to make it as effortless for the customer as possible. Nobody wants to go anywhere right now. Nobody wants to actually, step out of their apartments and go somewhere. So yes, but whenever there is a complex question, please don't talk to clients as robots, because that's the most frustrating thing ever. And then my good question is, as a business owner, again, why would you then go into all that expense of paying to real people and then talking like chatbots, right? So I think should be both, still both.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's like both sides of the same coin. So
That's right.
both of them have equal weight.
Yeah.
So how helpful is technology in customer segmentation and journey mapping?
It's very helpful. I mean, it's common sense that it's helpful, right? But I think that there is a lot of pain when I work with companies that do not have that data, because the worst thing is when the company is a really, really nice company that wants to treat their customers the best way. They want to segment them to know, what's needed in this segment. We call it roles, because I also teach at the business school. I teach MBA students, so roles or personas would be something closer to our terminology. So they want to know the roles their customers are playing. They want to know that segments, but they can't because they don't have the data. So I think that in this respect, it's very much needed. And but also what I have noticed is that there are companies who would have the most expensive digital tools, Microsoft CRMs, millions of dollars, right? And they have all the data in there, but they're not using it. When I say they're not using it, I don't mean just marketing departments. I mean, people in contact center, for example, or people in front office, can they use that information? Does it tell them anything or not, right? It should be simple. And then there are other companies who have this, I call it a very funny CRM in a Google disk, so they would have a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, but they're so good in actually tracking the customer needs and using all of it that you'd be amazed. So for this second cohort of clients, I would say that, of course, they need this digital tool because it would only help them to do whatever they were already doing. Do you know what I mean? And then some have them everything they need, but they're not using it. So it's very much needed. I just don't want people to rely on the technology itself, because technology itself without somebody translating it and somebody using it is just a waste of money.
Correct. So you think that having data of customers is very important, right?
I think it is very important, not only having, but using. I'd say more using than having,
Also, it has to also be very updated, like information always needs to be updated, like the information of customers and all that.
Of course. And then if people don't feel the need of updating it, if they don't have it, it's some kind of philosophy behind that. You can't just say, go and update the information because that's your KPI. If they don't see the value in it, if they don't see how it works, how customers are wowed when they use that information, if it's not linked, then they will not use it and they will not do it. Just because it's in KPI, nobody does it, Yeah.
So how many customer journey maps does a business actually need? Do we need a customer journey map for every persona and customer segment?
When I was reading this question, I asked myself this question, because because I think it goes even deeper. Again, remember, I teach at business school, so I go deep at stuff. And it goes deeper than this. Every role, the company needs to, first they need to understand the segments or the roles, right, they're working with. And that's the first, you're blindfolded if you don't see this. And the companies that think, still I ask them, who's your client? And when they answer everybody, this is not good, right? So number one, it's really good to know. Number two is asking yourself, what's the value you want to provide for those people, for those segments, and what's the value you can actually provide, because it could be different. I remember studying at Disney Institute, and that's actually that's what they ask themselves. First, they ask what we would like to provide to the segment, and then they ask themselves what the customers actually want from that segment, and then do we have the budget for it? So these are three questions that you have to be asking. It's not just one or two. So judging from that, for example, I want to bring this beautiful value to my client. I want to be giving them champagne every time we interact, right? Because I don't know, because it's a tired mom and she needs a glass of champagne. So, and it's a role, a tired mom, right? It's a role, it's a segment already. It's a persona. But then the next question is, does she need it? And then the deepest question is does that correlate with my business? Because what if my business doesn't have those values, or what if it's not something that we are doing, right? So I think that yes, you have to go deeper into every customer journey for every role. But the question before is, what is the value you want to provide, and what is the value they want, and what is the value you can provide? That's a deeper question. And after that, you can go to the journey, because the journey is it's a tool. I don't know why everybody's so crazy about journeys. It's a tool, right? It's a tool. And then a tool for what? If it's a lousy company, I'm sorry, but I'm always frank. Everybody knows in the market I'm always frank and honest. If it's a lousy company, and we all know that this company hates their clients, even if they have the best customer journey map, we will still, as clients, we would feel it in the attitude, right? They have a good customer journey, but once you have a problem, they're out of there. You can't reach them, right? So I would go much deeper into the question of what is the value that we want to bring, and what is the impact that we want to leave in the lives of those roles. But yes, then you go to the tools, and I think that there should be different journey maps, because the different value. We work with manufacturing companies, and the journey map for the buyer in the company that is buying, let's say, furniture from the manufacturer, the journey of the buyer is very different from the driver who is delivering the furniture to the person who is accepting it, right? So there are two separate journeys. And yes, separate value. So for the person who is accepting the furniture, she doesn't even care if it's a good quality furniture. She just cares for the documents, right? She cares for the documents. She or him, they just need nice documents. That's it. So, and you have to understand that. So yeah, different value, different journeys. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we spoke about companies, collecting information, like what is the expectations of our customers, what is something that we can provide. So with all this information, like obviously every customer is different. You cannot expect something same from everyone, even though if it's like a common product. So what do you think will help reduce this confusion for businesses?
I'd say personas, you are very right. Personas or roles of clients, right? And usually in the business, when you go deeper, when you go deeper into understanding, we'll use those pathetic words, who your customer is. But when you go deeper, usually you would come up maybe with like 12 or 15 personas, and that's too much. So then you would go and categorize them and see what's the need. And usually you can combine the needs. And if you combine the needs, usually we come up with businesses, we will come up to like 4 or 5 personas, maybe 6. And it doesn't matter what the business is, like, for example, right now we are working with the medical laboratory that is doing all kind of blood work. And of course, they're now loaded with all the PCR tests, right, for the COVID. And even in that one service PCR test, there are different roles. There's somebody who's leaving, they have their flight in an hour. There's somebody who just wants to check on their health. There's somebody who's already sick. These are different personas in one, even for one service. Let's just say this one product, one service. So and to avoid confusion, don't go into every client, because just go into persona. If this is something, yes, businesses sometimes, I see your pains. Businesses are sometimes stuck because they see those 15 roles or 20. They're like, oh my gosh, we have to hit all 20. No, a good question is, do you need all 20? Maybe not. Is there a business in all 20? Maybe not. The business is probably in those 5, and they're repetitious. And even one representative of that role, a tired mom of 2 little babies, one tired mom from a second tired mom, they're not different. Okay, their needs from your company will be the same. So don't get stuck into this mom told me this and then the other told me that. No.
So you think the same applies even to B2B?
I love B2B. It's the same. It depends on, and then there are different categories. Again, like as I just said, a CEO of the company, an accountant of that B2B company, a person who is a buyer in that company, a person who is using the product in that company. These are different personas, and they need different stuff from your company. Yeah, and I'd say that it's even easier in B2B because you are working with the same personas all the time.
Correct. Yes, yeah. I completely agree with you. So what do you think for the next 10 years? How do you see technology evolving? How effective is this integration of chatbot plus live chat in this connected era?
I personally love chatbots. Okay, I'm a millennial myself, so I love chatbots. I don't want to go into like calling somebody. Oh my gosh, no, there's no way. But again, we have to still keep in mind that there are different again, segments of businesses. And if your business is, you're hitting an older generation, they will not probably use this chatbot, and it's fine. So I think my point here is, don't get so flowed by the trend. There is a trend of chatbots and everybody wants them. Yeah, but ask yourself what your client is. And if your client is receiving snail mail still or catalogs, forget about chatbots, right? But if your client is, millennials and somebody after the millennial, then of course you need them. Personally, I love them for basic stuff. Again, I think that these will be evolving. And interestingly enough, we have never had this before, but we just had a request from a company. They have 900 drugstores around the country. They asked us to look at their chatbot and to see if it's friendly or not, if it's customer friendly or not. So we had to actually change all the wordings, because the wordings were like very official, the company is not. And the wording were like, your order has been delivered. So we had to go and change that. So I think that it's good that they're developing. It's just that please make sure that if your company is friendly to the client, then the chatbot is also friendly. It can be, divided.
So what do you think should be the goals for improving customer experience to sustain a long-term loyalty? Is customer loyalty overestimated?
Yeah. No, I definitely don't think it's overestimated. I think that especially in the crisis time, we really vote for the companies, and this pandemic's time is a huge crash test for the values of any company. And you see it everywhere. You see it on LinkedIn, everywhere, company that is treating their customers badly, or employees for that matter, they're all over now. You can't hide. No, you can't. So I do think that one of the focuses here in customer experience, of course, should be digitalization, because it's weird now when you can't do stuff online. It's just weird. We can't even, when the bank tells you need to come and sign the documents, you're like, what? So yeah, even General Motors now, they're bringing, actually, you can buy a car online. You can buy a car online. You can pay for it, everything online. So yeah, it's very much changing. On the other side, though, I do think that now front office and contact centers should be hugely paid attention to from management. And I know, again, as an owner, I know that this is the department that you don't like because it's not bringing you any revenue, you think, but it's not bringing you revenue short term. It is bringing it long term. So I think another focus should be on what John DeJulius, my good friend of mine, and also the one that I'm certified from, he calls it being a zero risk company. Meaning when you have a problem, you call the company and they make it so fast for you to resolve the issue, okay? So I think that this issue resolution should be paid so much attention to. And now contact centers should be switching from being information centers. Gosh, we can find information everywhere, So I'm calling this huge makeup company and I'm asking them, where's my order? And she's like saying, you can track your order on the website. This is not the information you need right now, okay? Right now, contact centers, especially like contact centers in those, I call them intimate businesses, like medical and banks. Banks is an intimate business as well. Especially banking, like, I don't need more information. I need an issue resolved. And so I think that now you have to stop calling your contact centers as a contact center, information center. No. Issue resolution center or relationship building center. If you have all that data that we were talking about before, you have it all in your system, your contact center should be the place where they build relationships with clients. Because if clients are not going anywhere, not seeing people in your company, that's the only person they can talk to. Okay, so I think there should be a huge switch. So a contact center becoming resolution center and becoming really a face of the company, not an information center, because we don't like information. I mean, there's so much information out there.
So because of the ongoing crisis, our COVID-19, the technology was forced upon most of the companies. Not much of them were very technology savvy. So do you have any secret tricks to help these businesses get on track?
Oh, that's a very cool question, I should say. Very cool. Because yeah, so many companies didn't want this, and then it was just on them, you know. Um, as with all decisions that are made fast or too fast or imposed, I think, and again, it's from my experience. I do not mean it's something a pill for everybody, but from my experience, I think the companies should really try to step back and ask themselves, okay, the technology was imposed, and why we are doing it, why we are doing this. A lot of the times they would tell me because our competitors are doing it. Yeah, but maybe your clients don't need it. Okay. So I would just say, breathe, breathe out and go talk to your clients. This is a beautiful time to pick up the phone and just talk, just ask, okay, so, can you tell me, please, do you really want to come to the place where we sell toys, or you want them just delivered? Do you need all those stores like brick and mortar, or you don't? And only from that information, then act. And please do not act just because everybody's doing it or competitors are doing it and you can't sleep at night. You're like waking up and thinking, oh my gosh, my competitor has done this and that already, right? They have the chatbot and we don't. Okay, but what if you're serving like 70 plus people, 70 years old and plus? Then it's okay, just step back. So I would say step back. And again, it's a great time to look at your clients again because they have changed. So a wonderful exercise that we recommend to all our clients, and especially when we are in consulting with them, we make sure they make it. It's a day in the life of your client. So when we actually go and spend physically a day with our client. And that has changed, because before, if you thought, okay, our clients wake up in the morning, they take kids to kindergarten, that has changed for a lot of people. So do that exercise again, depending on the roles, on the personas, right? Every persona would have different day in the life now. That has changed for sure. So just ask, especially in B2B. I love B2B. It's so much easier. You can call your client and say, you know what? I'm so sorry. We are trying to make our business better for you guys. We want to know how to serve you better. Can we come and actually like shadow you for the whole day and just see how it's different? It's easy. Everybody says, usually people will say, oh my gosh, you're going to spend so much time learning about our company. That's so cool. They're such nice guys, and then you would have so many insights. Then you would know if you need that technology or you don't need it, or it's just a waste of money, because you know who is so keen on technology in the company. IT director, right? And a lot of the times these people are so far from the customer. Unfortunately, they're just so far that they, and they're geeks. They love this new technology. They say, we need it. So yes, I think that.
So this tip that you shared with us is so golden that we all of us forget that, we don't have to compulsorily be in the race of technology, but rather just watch and see of how things are going to work for you. Yes, that's very good. Any other things you would like to leave our audience with?
Yeah, I think so. That's also an observation right now. When you switch to being digital, you think that you're doing it for the client because you automatically think that this will help the client, right? However, the technology for the sake of technology is not good at all, right? And to have a technology that would actually respond to the needs of the client, it's not a rocket science. It's just talking to people, but also another thing, being humble enough to hear what they're saying. And this is what I want to leave you guys with, because I have seen so many great IT directors, so many great executives who would tell me, we talked to our clients, but you know what, we think they don't know what they want, so they told us, some stuff that we cannot use. And of course, there is some part of the stuff the clients tell us that cannot be used at all. But I would just like to recommend for the businesses, especially in this time, to try and be humble. When we start the business, we are usually very humble. Don't you realize? We are so humble. We're like, we're listening to every client. We are trying so hard to resolve every issue because we are a startup. We need to survive, right? But then with years we become so confident, so confident we know it all. And now the client is calling with a minor problem. We're like, we don't need this client. So we become ignorant. We become selfish as businesses. So I think this pandemic's time is a beautiful time to tell ourselves, okay, I think I know nothing, so many executives are reading all this, are like sitting from morning till night and reading all the articles about the trends, the changing trends, the pandemic trends, and I tell them, step out of your computer and talk to your clients because nobody knows what's going to happen. That's the truth. This has never happened before. Okay, I mean, maybe sometime before the pandemics was there, but it was a very different time, very different development time, right? So my huge recommendation for businesses right now is please swallow up your ego. Stop reading everything, somewhere out there. Go to your clients, like physically go, sit in the store, sit in the bank branch, talk to them, say openly, guys, we don't know what to do because nobody does. Please tell us and help us out here. Be transparent as much as possible. The same holds true for the employees. If you don't know if you're going to survive this year, tell them. Say, guys, I'm going to do everything I can and even more for our business to survive. But I don't know. And be truthful, be truthful because people, if they don't believe you right now, they will not believe you after the pandemics. That's why I'm saying this is a crash test for the values of the companies. So to sum it up, swallow up your ego, forget what you are, number one in this, number one of this, leader in this, who cares? Except that we all don't know what to do right now with our clients, but we still have clients, thanks God. So go and talk to them and ask them. And I'm sure that you will have some beautiful insights for that.
Thank you so much, Anastasia, for giving us your time. Your insights were really valuable, and I know our audience is going to enjoy the interview as much as I did. We'll be back with a new episode and a new expert soon, so stay tuned and we'll see you around for the next one.